Leon doesn't like me messing with his turf, his area. I mean, he does a good job of cleaning up his dishes and rearranging his furniture, but I do have to clean the glass from time to time. Speaking of furniture, this is interesting for sure. Remember when he moved this big coral rock here to the center of the aquarium? The other day he decided he didn't like it there, so he picked it up and he moved it all the way over to the far left corner. This is not a small rock, so I'm not sure why he moved it. Lobster feng shui, I guess. Wind, water. I'm not going to question it. It's his space, so he should be able to decorate it the way he likes it. He keeps an eye on me at all times, to be sure I'm not moving any of his stuff around, or even touching any of his stuff. This glass shrimp is still carrying her eggs, and even with all those babies, she still moves fast when she needs to. This girl that was carrying all the eggs with little eyes in the last Leon video seems to have dropped them somewhere now. Hopefully they're in the sand and rocks here somewhere and developing well. There is a lot of danger in here though, just like the ocean. These baby crabs will eat them, the other glass shrimp may eat them, and the filter current may pull some in. Probably a lot. Oh, and some new predators have just shown up in this new aquarium. This tiny anemone has staked its claim on top of one of the oyster shells. It will eat anything small that swims through its dancing tentacles. I did have a larger anemone in Leon's other aquarium at the Woods house. Leon may have found it and eaten it though. It just disappeared one day. This little anemone may be the next generation. Also, these hydroids have just shown up, seemingly out of nowhere. Resilience of life again. These are the polyp stage of a type of small jellyfish, like Hydromedusa. There are so many types though, I won't have a clue until these start popping off little jellies. These hydroids are also predators. Like the anemone, they will eat anything that floats through their tentacles. So the baby glass shrimp are in for a challenge when they hatch. I know some viewers don't like to see Leon eating live earthworms, but he absolutely loves them and gets crazy excited when they fall in from the sky. Watch how he reacts. He loves the challenge of catching them, and he absolutely devours them when he does catch them. Catching and eating live earthworms was part of the therapy that helped rehab and strengthen Leon again after he was brought home from the grocery store in the very first Leon video. A lot of dexterity and coordination is needed to catch this wiggly food. So I do still feed them to him from time to time. Variety in his diet is important, and good physical exercise and the challenge of sport is important to his good health. Just like it is to us. And as Leon eats a worm, the glass shrimp swing by looking for a chance to eat too. And even the tiniest of crabs waits in the coral nearby. And even below the crab, another glass shrimp sits in the sand. I do also put a few sinking pellets in the aquarium a couple of days a week to be sure the little crabs and the glass shrimp are getting enough to eat. This female glass shrimp is definitely enjoying her dinner. We can see her chewing up food and moving it from her mouth to her stomach. Imagine being able to just scrape any surface near you and get some food off it. I mean, we all find the occasional chicken nugget under the sofa cushion, but this is different. This crab's food is everywhere. I've been curious how Leon would act if I tried hand feeding him. And I was curious how I would act too. So I decided to experiment with it and work with him on it and see what the results were. Like everything is with Leon though, the results weren't totally what I expected. This is how it went the first time I tried it. Me handing him food directly from my hand to his big claw. I've been pinched by a lot of crawfish, bitten by snakes, bitten by lizards, bitten by crabs. Those are all small but pretty powerful. So I don't want to know what it feels like to be snapped by Leon. Leon is as careful and cautious about my hand as I am of his claw. Also, my natural self-preservation jerk-back reaction might do something to hurt him as well. I don't want to yank his claw out of joint just for an experiment. I lower the piece of shrimp in and try to get Leon to come out in the open. He rubs his antennae against the shrimp and comes to get it. Takes a few swipes at it, and I chicken out and bail out. Here's how the second try went. As soon as his antennae connect with the shrimp, he takes a fast jab, then grabs it right away. He grabbed the shrimp exactly, and not my finger. I don't know exactly what Leon sees through his beautiful eyes, but I didn't realistically expect him to be able to differentiate my finger from the shrimp that I'm trying to hand him. I'm curious if he can see the difference between the two or where the line is. Once he felt the shrimp with his antennae, he knew exactly what and where his food was. I know many dogs that will happily take fingers or a hand when you offer them a tasty treat. Do you have a dog like that? The shrimp and little crabs are going to get plenty of crumbs from this one. This is the third time hand feeding him ever, and it's interesting for sure. It cracks me up that he's tucked in behind the rock and being cautious or careful of my hand. Notice his antennae are feeling my hand and not the shrimp. He's not aggressive here at all. He takes a small swipe, then comes back and takes the shrimp gently and precisely. He seems to know my hand is not the food, but the shrimp is. What do you think? This is the fourth time hand feeding Leon. He isn't concerned with my hand at all. I rub the shrimp against his antennae and he immediately lunges for it. He holds it like a sandwich for a bit and takes a few bites. Then he takes it over and stashes it away in the oyster shell pile for later. I'm sure he'll come back and get this. Notice the little crab under the rock. I believe this is the one I brought back from the Woods house in the last Leon video. The glass shrimp and the little crab don't waste any time and dig into Leon's leftovers. On the fifth hand feeding attempt, he looks up at my hand, then backs away a bit. Then I let him feel or sample the shrimp with his sensitive antennae, and he immediately tries a sudden sneak attack on me. But fortunately I have some of the same skills that Bobby the Karate Cat has, and with quick reflexes I was able to dodge Leon's quick move. We both back off and size each other up again. He's actually very accurate here with his claw at grabbing a moving target. Sometimes I question what his eyesight actually sees, but obviously he's got great eyesight. and eye-hand coordination, eye-claw coordination. It's wild to think that his fast and massive claws didn't even work when he first came to live here from the grocery store. I still have his old claws from when he molted last spring. These have been sitting on a shelf for about 11 months. Look at how vivid the old rubber band marks still are on these old dry shells. I've kept these because I want to compare them to his claws when he molts again. On day 6, he seems less interested in food. This is a smaller piece, so I'm trying to be more careful myself. I let the shrimp rub up against his antennae, and he immediately turns around and reaches up and grabs it. But this time he takes it and moves it over to the side of the aquarium. He's not really hungry right now, apparently. The glass shrimp, though, are hovering over him and expecting him to eat and spew some leftovers and scraps around, but unfortunately they're going to have to wait for that. There are times when we don't want food, right? I mean, imagine if you're just sitting out on your deck enjoying the sunshine and a big plate of food just appears. You're not exactly hungry right then, so what are you going to do? Or imagine if you're sitting there playing Modern Warfare and you've got 20 kills and only 2 deaths, and all of a sudden a big giant pizza just appears right there in front of you. You're probably going to push it aside and continue what you're doing. You're not quite ready to eat yet. So sometimes when I feed Leon, he's not quite ready to eat, so he'll take that food and stash it away somewhere to the side. So I try hand feeding Leon a 7th time just to see if there's any difference in his attack pattern. I lower it in, and as soon as his antennae touch the shrimp, he takes a huge swipe at it. Whoa! Yeah, I bailed out early on that one. Maybe Leon should have taken the Beavis and Butthead deal. That could have been fun watching them try to hand feed Leon. So out of hand feeding Leon 7 times, as soon as his antennae touch the shrimp, he pretty much aggressively and accurately goes right for the food. On his 3rd try, he touched my hand with his antennae, and he made some adjustments and went for the food and not my hand. I don't know what would happen if he actually latched onto my hand or how it would feel, but I know nothing good would come from it. There's really not a lot to be gained from hand feeding Leon every day, other than just the experiment to see how he handles it and how he deals with it, how he processes it. I'm glad to see he does know the difference between my hand and food, his normal food. No finger food. Back at the Woods house, the tiny mystery fish is doing well. I feed it flake food, something very small that it can eat. I'm still not able to identify this little mystery fish. Obviously, it could be a single killifish egg that happened to hatch. The body language is similar. Or it could be something completely different that came in as an egg on the oyster shells. If you can ID it from this video, definitely let us all know. The Venus flytraps wait out the winter just like the rest of us here. I'm seeing more of the little crabs these days, tucked into crevices and hanging out on the old coral rocks. One of the little crabs claims the rock that Leon moved for his home. And this tiny crab spends a lot of time on the opposite far right side of the aquarium, picking and eating pieces of something out of the sand. This is the tip of a key to show the crab's size. As soon as the key leaves, it goes back to work, picking even tinier things off the glass. I would say that's pretty amazing vision too. Bobby the karate cat has stopped chewing my USB cables. So, as many of you mentioned, it was likely stress from the move and the new environment. Thank you all for the great advice and tips. Before I moved the 3 cats to this house, I had them all checked over by a vet, so it wasn't a gum issue, fortunately. She's settling in well. This is Dylan. She was found in the woods, a single kitten with her mom, so they were likely dumped. Both live here now. We just call her Mom, Mama, with a southern spelling, M-O-M-M-A. This is Dallas, the twin boy with the mangled tail, so he's definitely experienced some trauma. We've had he and his brother Jack for over a year now, and Dallas is just now starting to trust me. I'm the one who trapped him, so he must think I chopped his tail off too. We're getting there though. Rue and Abby are finally starting to come to some agreements with each other, so the integration is starting to come along. While browsing antique stores again, I came across this interesting lobster bowl. I didn't buy it though. It's just hard to beat the salt and pepper shaker holder I found earlier, so far. This is an album I picked up at a thrift store the other day. Oh well. Sometimes Leon just lounges around like a dog with his paws out, and he grooms himself. And he enjoys a moment of a day in his life. I think most of us could stand to do more of that ourselves. And Leon came back and ate the mussel he tossed away earlier. Leon doesn't produce a lot of waste, particularly in such a large aquarium, but I still try and keep a regular cleaning and water change routine. I used to hate when my mom came into my bedroom and vacuumed. With other hobbies like caring for plants and restoring vintage dirt bikes, I'm always careful to wash my hands well before touching Leon's food or putting my hands in the aquarium water. So no fertilizers or heavy metal residue get in the water. Obviously in an enclosed space like an aquarium, that wouldn't be a good thing. Just around the corner from Leon, a couple of the little crabs are enjoying themselves. This may be a pea crab, the tiny crabs that are found in a lot of oyster shells at roasts. And this is the crab that just came from the Woods House Aquarium again. I enjoyed reading so many of the fun creative names viewers came up with in the comments section. The little pea crab again, and a key so you can see the size comparison. It's super tiny. So Leon has a lot of new friends, and his new aquarium is becoming its own little ecosystem. If the jellyfish polyps ever start popping off little jellyfish and the glass shrimp hatch, Leon will be chasing little balloons and tiny darty shrimp all around the aquarium. The next episode definitely gets interesting, so check back in with us. If you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and share it with anyone you think might enjoy following Leon's journey. Also, if you're looking for cool gifts for family or friends, or if you just want to share some Leon love and help keep him fed, go to leonthelobster.myshopify.com for cool Leon merch. We'll see you soon.